It's been a minute, but with my good friend Amanda Howard. How are you doing?
I am great, Blair. It's so great to be back. I mean, when I pulled up, I went, oh my gosh, memories.
It's like coming home.
It is.
It's like coming home.
This is
Now,
fun.
obviously, I know you and your story, but some of our listeners, some of our friends of the show may not know your full story. So I kind of want to start at the beginning. What got you into this world of real estate that you now eat, sleep, breathe, and love?
Well, I dabbled in real estate while my husband and I were moving around the country. We grew up in Jupiter, Florida. We moved to Chicago with his job for a couple of years. Then we had babies and we moved to Huntsville, and this is where we wanted to raise our children. And so as soon as I got here, I went, I don't know what else to do. We're just getting started. I'm going to go ahead and get my license. So 21 years ago, though I had my license in Florida and in Illinois, I really got started in real estate here in Huntsville. And it was since I didn't know anyone in this community yet. When I first moved here, I was pulling my girls in a wagon around neighborhoods, talking to people that were selling their homes unrepresented or people who had just expired, and just getting my name out there, talking to people. And I brought my kids everywhere. And that's actually how I was Rookie of the Year first year. People started knowing who I was, wondering who I was. And I was very, very involved in the philanthropy side of the community because, again, I wanted to immerse myself and my children in the community as quickly as possible to make this our home.
Well, and you've definitely done that. I mean, I was just bragging about you the other day because you are a powerhouse name. And I know you don't like the compliments, but I'm going to compliment you here because you are a powerhouse name just in the community. We'll set real estate aside for just a second. What you do for our community, you make a difference. And people that know you, people that love you, people that work for you or with you can see that. They can see that you care about the community and you did exactly what you set out to do. I think that's one of the best things about our community, the Tennessee Valley as a whole, is they are welcoming to outsiders. Yeah. Now, we might have some questions at first, like you said, yeah. Who is this girl? Who is this woman? And who are these adorable kids in this wagon? But we're so welcoming, and that's definitely something that we need to keep at because our community is continuing to grow. Each and every single day, we're welcoming new people, new families into the area, and I know you're seeing that firsthand.
Oh, absolutely. We have so many opportunities for growth here, and it's really exciting. Saying, FBI is moving more people, and then we have so many factories and workforces that are bringing more people in here. Biotechnology, I mean, the list keeps going on and on. And I love it. I love it here. It's been a great place to raise a family.
For sure. And that's definitely something you and I've talked a lot about. With the growth that's coming to Huntsville, the housing market. I know it's something that when we say housing market, I think it can be a little intimidating to people, but finding that forever home in a community that you love can be difficult if you don't have the right people in your corner. And I would be saying that if you weren't sitting here in this studio with me, but there are so many things about this industry that people don't know. And we are lucky to have people like you and your team that you don't just talk about it. Y'all are doing trainings all the time. I see it over on Facebook. You guys tell me about all the trainings because you want to stay top of mind in everything that's happening.
Well, I think you have to. And just like the industry of technology is constantly changing. I mean, you can't have an iPhone out and it's not going to be updated, or it seems like, I think in 2 to 3 years, it's no longer the best iPhone out there. Technology is constantly changing. So does our real estate industry. So does the mortgage industry. Everything is constantly evolving and changing. So you have to stay on top of it. And you can definitely see the difference between an agent who is kind of keeping their I call them the ostriches, is it the ostriches?
Yes,
they keep their head in the sand.
Yes.
And they just are like, oh, there's too much going on. There's too much change. I don't want to know. It's going to stop. Something's going to change. I'll just put my head in the sand, focus on my things, and it'll come back around. And I've had to correct so many agents, even just in this past year, going, honey, it's not going to change. You need to pull your head back out of the sand and catch up because this industry is changing now monthly. And so it does take staying involved, staying informed, not only keeping up with what's happening in the news, keeping up what's happening politically, and because it all factors in. And so our office is very keen on having weekly meetings where we're keeping our agents just as updated as because the agents have to keep the consumers updated.
Absolutely. Because that's part of the job. I think sometimes people think, oh, they're just here to help me buy or sell. It's so much more than that because they have to be educated on everything so that they are helping their clients each and every single day make the best decision. It's not just finding the best house. Anybody can find a great house, but it's making the best decision based on the right now and where you see your future too. Let me ask you this. What would you say is the best thing the local real estate market has going for it right now?
So for us here in the Tennessee Valley marketplace, it's definitely between the job growth that we have going on and the relocations. It's showing that we have such a strong economy because of all the changes and the happenings that are happening with within the industries of everything that is coming here. I'm blessed, but so is everyone here, that Alabama is such a friendly state to businesses. And so because of that, it's drawing more businesses here. People are relocating here. And I wish I could remember what the number was, because whatever it was, I was actually shocked 2 weeks ago when I was at a leadership event here locally, and they told me how many people are moving to our city every week. I was floored. And it's because the numbers just keep growing. Every time I turn around, I think, oh, I've got my finger on it. I know how many people are moving to our community a month. No, I'm wrong. It's more than that. So the demand for our community and the momentum we have building here in Huntsville and the Tennessee market is phenomenal for everyone.
And it's crazy because it's like you and I have been chatting about, businesses wanting to come to our area because we are friendly to them means that the families come, which means, again, just more growth. It really is hand in hand. And speaking of families and just, day-to-day life, you and I, obviously you've raised your family and now grandbabies are in the mix too in this community. And it means a lot to all of us here that we have a community that is so giving. And that's, again, why people are wanting to come. Somehow, we've reached the halfway point. So I don't know about you, but I'm already thinking like, okay, the holidays will be here before you know it. What should sellers be thinking about right now as we're halfway through 2025 somehow? Where should their mindsets be?
If they're even considering it, they need to get serious about talking to someone to help them prepare. Because right now, that's what I'm seeing is people are jumping into this like, okay, maybe they've been considering it for months, which is most of us. Most people are, they'll plan well ahead of time in their minds, but they don't think to call the professional at that time. You need to call as soon as you're thinking about it, because right now, if you're not prepared properly to sell, your home is going to sit, because our buyers are more savvy. There's so much data out there that they're educated and they're hiring their own representation now, which happened a year ago when laws were changed again. So now our buyers are represented exclusively, and that's the way I've always felt that they should be represented, but it's different now. And so because of that fact, now our agents are treating this more serious with their buyers, which in turn also makes the buyers more educated. So sellers, I feel, are just coming to the market thinking it was, pre-2020, or even during the COVID years where things were just flying off the market, but people weren't really that informed and they could just throw anything on the market and it was selling. Not anymore. I mean, they are still selling. We have strong momentum, but only if they are staged right. They're prepared. They look great. And so we know what to look for, and we need to help the sellers strategize.
I think you make obviously a great point. Another thing, as somebody that's been in this industry for a long time, do you think there's this fear factor of picking up the phone or going to a website and reaching out initially and just like them maybe not knowing what to expect when they get somebody on your team, like what questions they might ask? Do you think any of that plays into it?
Oh, it definitely does. And for a minute, it seemed like we were actually talking about this earlier in the year of what's going on with people? Why are they holding back and making those calls? Is it the fear of, our phones are constantly blown up by solicitors now or politicians asking for money. So they're just like, they don't want to be bombarded and they're worried we're going to blow their phones up. Well, we're here to help people. We're not here to annoy anyone. So I hope that that's something that people are starting to realize of professionals who get paid commission do not want to waste their time.
Right.
So I'm not going to be chasing you if you don't want to sell your home.
You're there if we need you.
Yes.
But we're not, listen, we're all too busy for that. I don't have time to call you 17 times today.
We do not get paid by the hour. We only get paid when we get the job accomplished that you want us to get accomplished for you. So it's best to, when you're serious, when you're contemplating, call us so we can help set you up for success.
Perfect. Now, let me ask you this. Why should a buyer or seller specifically choose your team? What is it about your team? What makes you stand out to everyone else? Because obviously there are other options.
So the difference with us is that we don't guess, we guide. We have the experience. We've sold over 8,000 homes, which I really like to say we've served over 8,000 families, because it's not really about the box. It's about helping the families get to the goal that they have and they want to achieve. So I see a lot of agents guessing. Even when they come to us and they start our training program, they're like, oh, I just haven't been able to figure out how to price for the last year. All right, we get it. However, here is our plan. And so we are guides, and we need to counsel people with a strong, clear knowledge and base of, we know from history and track record and what we've been able to compile of information of all the homes that have sold, where the data is driving us, and what we can see for the economists that are coming forward, what we're going to see in the future. So it just takes a little bit more knowledge and time, but we will help you get there.
It's one of the things that we hear about in several different industries. Data doesn't lie. And that's something that we can always rely on. And it's something that I think a lot of people sometimes just need to see that. They need to see where that data is coming from. Because again, it can be very intimidating at first, but it's like, let me show you where we're getting this from and why we're directing you in this particular way and down this particular path. Now, what are some questions that home sellers ask when interviewing real estate agents? Because I think a lot of times, again, it can be intimidating of, am I allowed to ask this? Should I ask this? What should they be doing?
That's a great question, Blair. And we see some that are getting a little too generic. So I'd like to say, just get past the fluff and just ask directly, what's your plan to make my home stand out? That's a great first question. And then what kind of exposure can you guarantee past the MLS and Zillow? That's another one. That's a very strong question, very direct question. And what kind of exposure can you guarantee that I'm going to get? What is your average days on market to get the home sold? And what's your list price to sale ratio? So that's another data-driven number that they should know. And so if they're wanting to get a little cute or they get vague, then you know your answer right there. If they're being cutesy or they're being vague and can't answer those questions directly, then you maybe don't have the agent that has the experience that you need. But if they know those answers, then that's your agent.
Do you and your team, because I'm sure, again, this is a question that some people may have, do you get offended when people ask these questions directly?
We come prepared, knowing that they should be asking those questions. And if they don't ask us those questions, we start sharing that in a way that's, like, hey, you should be really asking me this. But right, some information you might find interesting
right.
is this A, B, and C. And we think that might be helpful to you in making your decision. Because some people do come to us, like, wisely. They're coming a little early, and they're like, we're just wanting to wrap our minds around who to interview. And so we are interviewing, 3 or 4 people. So we help guide them of, okay, great. Then let us give you the data that you need so that you can make an informed decision.
So you have the people that kind of fall into that category, where they're coming a little bit earlier and kind of have extra time. And then I feel like the flip side of that is the people that are like, I need my home sold yesterday. So if you could, work your magic, Amanda, that would be great. But I mean, all kidding aside, sometimes it's you're relocating for a job or for family purposes. Maybe there's a divorce situation. Maybe, look, life throws all of us curveballs. So when that is something that's on the forefront of people's minds, they need to sell quickly. Do you have options that you offer these people? Because again, these are very specific circumstances.
It's so true, Blair, because life does not have a perfect timeline. I mean, things just happen in life. And so we've built solutions for that we have a guaranteed offer, which is it's offering flexible closings, fast track prep options that removes that stress and helps create certainty. So whether you're needing speed or privacy, or kind of a little bit of both, we kind of have you covered.
So really it is about having a very direct, honest conversation with whoever is on your team of, hey, this is where I'm at. What can you help me with?
Absolutely. And the more information that we know about your end goal, that's going to help us because we can tailor any of our programs around whatever that end goal is. I think people come to us thinking, well, real estate is very, maybe it's just linear or it's a box and I have to fit into that box, but that's not necessarily the case. We're humans.
No.
And so our life situations change.
Absolutely. Now, you and I have talked about this several times, but again, I think it's something that's on the forefront of anybody's minds that might be wanting to sell. What should sellers know about pricing and timing in our market? We hear about, nationally what's going on, but let's be honest, we're worried about what's happening in our backyard.
That's right. So with market, it doesn't reward guesswork. And I think that's when we see those agents who are guessing. It's when we see the homes that are overpriced. It's either that or that they're not strong enough in guiding the client to give them the data that they need to realize that they're overpriced. Whatever the situation is, when you're overpriced right now, it's doing is helping other listings sell faster. And our goal is to be honest with you and tell you exactly what you need to be able to get your home sold now and the honest pricing strategy to get it sold.
And again, just a couple of minutes ago, you did mention your guaranteed sale and guaranteed offer program. How does that benefit sellers who just need that extra bit of certainty that, okay, we can do this together as a team, we can make this happen?
That's what it is there for, is to create that certainty, because it's scary, especially when you have these relocations or you get some order that you find out that you have to transfer your whole family very quickly. So having that certainty is what our goal is. We want to take away that fear from families. And so with our guaranteed offer, you can skip that open market and go straight to receiving a cash offer. With our guaranteed sale, we're a backup so that you know that you have a timeline when your home is going to sell. We're there for you. So having that certainty, either direction, whichever you need, it's just great, again, to have options.
For sure. And, we keep talking about the growth. And so whether it's, we see it every day, Huntsville's tech, defense sectors, we are growing at a speed that is very exciting. And you and I can sit here all day long and say how exciting that is. But what does that mean for the seller? Because a lot of times, again, we hear that we should be excited. But what does that mean for us?
So for us, it creates opportunity because we know that buyers are coming in here. So whether, it's tech, it's defense, it's the federal government, that means that if your home is well prepared and it's marketed right, then we're able to get them in front of these high quality buyers that are moving in here. And it's a great time for selling in this city right now.
And again, great news for us all the way around. Now, when's the last time, this is kind of a random question, and you're probably thinking, Blair, where are you going with this? But when's the last time that you were on Google?
Oh gosh, probably yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. Did you happen to know, I'm just going to throw this out there, did you happen to know that you have hundreds of 5-star reviews? Are you surprised at all by that? I mean, your group of agents, your team. Are you surprised by that in the least?
We're very humbled by it, and I'm not surprised. I talk about it weekly and watch them closely and brag to my agents and call them out for the kudos that they get, because that's what we have to work from is we really love to work by referral. So if I'm hearing publicly my agents are being praised on Google, I'm going to make sure that I'm shouting it from the rooftops best I can and giving those pats on the back in the office. So it means a lot to them. But what I'm seeing mostly said, which I feel is so important, because it actually does fall back to our core values within our office, is that the clients say that they feel seen, supported, and like someone's finally telling them the truth. And I feel it's just important that our agents do. They show up with honesty, they show up with heart, they show up with a clear strategy for the client, and that eliminates those concerns and the fears. And that's what we're here for, is to give them the solutions that they need at the timing that they need it.
I truly did just get chills when you said that, because when you talk about, buying or selling a home, you're talking about somebody's money, and that is something that's very near and dear to people. Let's call it what it is. When you start talking money and the home that my family is going to be in, that's a very personal thing. And so honesty, it should be on the forefront of everybody's, mindsets and how they operate day to day, but it's not, unfortunately. And so I know as a business owner, you have to have that sense of pride of like, my team's doing it right. I'm hearing directly from our clients and they're doing it Right. And I'm sure that, that's not the case across the board for everybody else. And so you can really go and read these reviews for yourself and say, okay, this is the team that I want to do business with. Because if people, not just one or two people, but hundreds of people are having this experience, because that's the first thing people do anytime they need a recommendation. What do? We go over to social media and say, hey guys, I need a recommendation for whatever it might be. And so, a word of mouth is definitely important. Now, you mentioned your core values within your office. Do you mind sharing those with us? Because I do think that it would, again, give a really good glimpse as to who you and your team are.
Yeah, we preserve honesty and integrity. We are dependable, passionate, and determined. We build a positive team spirit. We're caring about our community, and we support team members' excellence and happiness. Those are our 5. And we all have them memorized, internalized, and we talk about them weekly. It's actually, we end our meetings on Tuesdays with those core values. And in that meeting is also when I share if we have any new Google reviews, which I am really humbled but honored to say and proud of my agents that at least 3 to 5 a week we will receive. And I get to say, hey, Kana, great job. This is what so-and-so said. And Tina, great job. I'm so proud of you. And this is how you affected their life. And it gives them, they all just get excited over that.
I love it. Now, I'm not in your Tuesday meetings, but I may steal those core values and tape them up here in the studio. Now, before I let you go, I do have one more question for you. What's the biggest mistake that you believe sellers make in today's market? Because again, we've talked about all the things you can be doing, but let's be honest, mistakes have been made. What is that big one that you're like, you know what, I'm going to help you out here?
Right. Blair, it's waiting. They wait to prep. There's waiting to price right. There's even waiting to call us. So the waiting is the biggest mistake. And the truth is, in this market right now, it doesn't wait. So it's best to, again, plan ahead, strategize, get the information that you need so you can price it right, stage it right, make it look gorgeous. And again, the strategy is so important based around your family's needs and your goals, and we'll help you create that.
I lied. I said last question, but I do have one more, okay? Because again, I think I keep going back to the possibility that there's just this fear of picking up the phone and reaching out. What can somebody expect when they finally are like, okay, I heard Amanda, I heard Blair, I'm not going to wait anymore. Maybe, what's that first thing? I mean, are you going to set up an initial appointment? How does that look?
The initial appointment is our key. That is our first step. So depending on if they're buying or selling, but most people that are calling us right now are the sellers. And so when they call us as a seller, they say, okay, I just want to understand, where's my pricing strategy at? Right, well, we can give you a very generic pricing strategy over the phone, but what would make more sense is for us to come in and see your home so that we can see the condition, we can see the yard, we can see the community around you, what's your neighborhood look like. So we care about the interior and the exterior, and the best way for us to do that is to lay our eyes on it. So, and also there's things that sometimes clients just, when you're in your own home, you don't see it anymore.
No.
It happens so frequently. So it's really great to have a fresh set of eyes that can come through and say, hey, this is not going to take you much time or effort at all, but here's a little honey-do list. Get this all in order and you're going to be golden.